Today we're going to shoot birds with the camera. A couple of years ago, when I first got my camera, we were right in the middle of COVID, and as a result, we were not in a position to do a lot of traveling. What I did with my camera during that time was I took a lot of pictures of birds in my backyard. We're very fortunate in as much as we've got a great backyard for birds. It's surrounded by trees. They're very safe there, and it gave me something to do every single day. One of the things I learned very quickly is that bird photography improved my overall photography. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how it did that. My name is Jerry Kita, and I live in North Carolina. A few years ago, as I was approaching retirement, I purchased a camera with the idea of becoming a photographer. Since then, photography has taken me to some wonderful places all over the world, and I've made many new friends. I've come a long way, but I know I'm still trying to figure this all out. I'm having a lot of fun, and this is my journey. So I'm out in my backyard. I just want to show you the setup that I've got for taking photographs of birds. So let me just turn this around if I could. So as you can see, just looking around the yard, lots of trees. You see my wife's garden there. And we back out onto some woods. So it really is ideal for bird photography. And I'm standing up here on the deck. So even while on the deck, lots of things for the birds to perch on. So it really, really works well. And then, as you can see in the yard, out in the distance, I don't know if you can see it well, but I've got my bird feeders out there. And it's really just a great environment if you want to do bird photography. This is my camera setup. I'm situated right here, and you just see not too far in front of me, probably about 15, 20 feet, are the bird feeders. And the key part of this for me is the gimbal, which is quite amazing. The story behind that, I was in Florida at one of the nature preserves taking pictures of spoonbills. And the guy was in the area also taking photos. And I noticed he had a great gimbal. And I told him that. I said, hey, love that gimbal. And he said, you want to buy it? And we settled on a price, which was about 1/3 of what I would pay if I had to, buy it retail. So, but I love this thing. I really get a lot of good use out of it. Well, it's pretty quiet here. Not much going on. Spent all this time telling you about how great this place is for birds, and not only they're not here, I can't even hear them in the woods, but we'll be patient, see what happens. Well, we're getting a little action here. I'm seeing a wren. That's pretty cool. Oh, we got a nice cardinal. Very nice. Oh, it looks like we're getting a little bit of action on the big feeder. Got a little chickadee there. So here we are back in the office. I got to be the first to admit there weren't a lot of birds out there today, but that's going to change as we get further on into the year. The months get a little colder, and the natural food sources for the birds will kind of dry up. Usually at the height of the winter, I might go through about 40 pounds of bird seed a week. So it gets pretty active out there. But nevertheless, I hope you got a good sense of the setup that I've got and what I do to take images of birds in my backyard. So, getting back to my earlier premise about how did bird photography improve my overall photography, in many ways it's quite simple. The fact is, with COVID upon us, I didn't have much choice other than to take photos of birds in my backyard. We weren't traveling anywhere, as I had said earlier, and what it forced me to do was to get out there every single day. And I would have to tell you that that's probably the single biggest factor that really accelerated my growth as a photographer. I just went out there and shot every single day. And experienced photographers will tell you that you can look at all the YouTube videos you want, and I do a lot of that. You can take online courses, also do that, and you can read about photography, and I do my share of that. But nothing impacts your growth as much as just getting out there and shoot. And that's what I did. And as I said, it really accelerated my growth. Learned a lot of things. I learned about the right exposure levels. There's a high dynamic range in my backyard, whether it's sunny, whether it's cloudy, depending on what the background photographs of birds. You will learn very quickly how important shutter speed is. It took a number of blurry shots for me to realize that I had to really up that shutter speed to get the kind of shot that I wanted. And just so you know, at least from my experience, if you've got birds at a feeder, 1/350th of a second, if you're on a tripod with a gimbal, is probably the speed that works the best, at least for me. ISO levels. You learn about the impact of ISO on your images. And most importantly, you kind of learn the tolerance of your own camera insofar as, how high can you go in ISO and still get a quality photograph. The other thing, when you're dealing with birds, you've got to be quick. I've got a couple of feeders out there. They can show up anywhere at any time. My mantra became, find it, focus fast, shoot fast. When I'm really on my game, I can usually, get a shot off in about 2 or 3 seconds from the time the bird lands on a perch to when I actually hit the shutter. But again, it's something you learn pretty quickly. What it came down to is I learned everything about the way my camera worked for a period of months. And what it allows me to do now is to make adjustments in the field very, very quickly. If conditions change, if the sun goes behind a cloud and I've got to make adjustments to my photograph, or if I've got to make adjustments to my camera setting, I'm in a position now to do it very, very quickly without even thinking about it. So the bottom line, and I guess the only real advice I can give you, just get out there and shoot. COVID and the availability of birds in my backyard is what kind of forced my hand, and I've benefited immeasurably from that. My suggestion to you is just go out there and shoot. So if you're still here, I appreciate you hanging in there. And if you found this video to be helpful or interesting in any way, please give it a thumbs up or even leave a comment. Also think about subscribing. And thank you once again. Until next time, we'll see you.